Welcome to Game. Hey guys, and welcome to GTLive, where today, first off, welcome back from the holiday. We missed you over Thanksgiving break. We hope you survived tryptophan poisoning. You got some good Black Friday deals if you're here in the U.S.
Hope you had a very thanky Thanksgiving. In the meanwhile, we're back. It's Monday, and it's sweater weather here on GTLive. That's what I'm most excited about.
I'm excited about wearing bright neon green, but you know what I'm excited about?
It's sweater. It's a sweater.
It's actually a sweatshirt.
Hoodie.
There's a difference.
Zippy.
I would agree.
Right, sweatshirts versus sweaters. This is something that bothers me, that there is a difference between the two. I always got to remind myself what the difference is between the two. But it was Thanksgiving Day weekend. I did mention getting some Black Friday deals, or as I like to say, I've been saying it to like everyone I talk to about Black Friday. It's like
we're all just real sick of hearing it at this point.
Congratulations on getting yourself great deals on items that were already artificially marked up, so that way consumers could be fooled into thinking they got great deals on things. Happy consumerism, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what they do.
You feel better now?
I do.
Feel good?
I feel great, thanks.
I liked my Black Friday deals. Thank you very much.
You know what's going to make us feel less great? That is the game for the day, because what better way to start off Monday than with moral dilemmas?
It's a real feel-good episode this Monday, and it's going to be exciting. We're going to be miserable. You guys are going to love it.
Not miserable. We're going to think about ethics.
We're going to think deeply. It's going to be a deep thinky episode.
By killing off people. Because one thing that we've noticed on live streams is that the ones where we kill people off are always the best ones. Indeed they are, Steph. Indeed they are. No, one of the things that we love about the live streams is that we get to talk to you guys in real time and hear your feedback and have, you know, in some capacity, a conversation with, you know, the mass of people who are watching and getting your opinions about the topics that we're talking about. I think that's one of the coolest things about live streaming, and one of the coolest things about, you know, just gaming and the world today is so much of what we do online falls into these interesting ethical queries. So, like, some of my favorite streams have been the Would You Rather ones, where we're getting to debate with you guys about what would you do in certain circumstances. This
one I feel like is going to maybe bring it a little closer to home, which I'm a little bit worried about. Like, Would You Rather is like, would you rather have wings but no teeth, or really sharp teeth but no face? And then you have to, you know, you trade it off. But those are pretty far out there. This seems
Wings
like
with
we're
no
hitting...
teeth is clearly the option, by the way.
Obviously.
Like, you could fly yourself, and then you'd have to suck everything down through a straw, which isn't too bad,
You could just fly yourself around to milkshake restaurants is really all that would happen there.
Just gum onto a bunch of things.
Oh, cool. So with this one, I think is going to bring it a little closer to home, which I'm...
Please, tell us how it's going to bring us closer to home.
Oh, my God. By talking about who you would hit with your car.
We don't get the choice.
We don't
It's the machines that get the choice.
Right, exactly.
So today, the name of the game is Moral Machine. It's not really so much a game as it is a series of ethical dilemmas that a driverless car would have to face. So the idea here is we're going to a society where driverless cars are probably going to be inevitable.
What will they be?
An inevitability, Jason. They will be an inevitability.
Which I'm excited about. Anybody else excited for driving?
Because no one wants to drive, let's be honest. And honestly, it's safer. That's the other thing. Regardless of what the news media will say, like, machines doing the driving will ultimately be safer because they're not susceptible to being tired, they're not susceptible to being, like, reckless. And honestly, it will speed up traffic. There's a great CPG Gray video out there that analyzes why traffic jams happen, and it's all because of us. It's all because of humans. And then the solution to not... It's all me. It has everything to do with me. So hashtag blame me, or blame Jason for that, man. You know, Jason's not that good of a driver. I figured out how to open his child locks today at lunch. It was great. So anyway...
Why would you do that?
How to open your child locks?
He's going to get out all the time now,
so
Jason.
This is going
to be a huge problem. He can open the door now.
I just wanted to get out of your car, Jason. Stop keeping me trapped in the back of your car. So anyway, watch that CPG Gray video. It's great if you have the chance to watch it. It's
but
like
not right
10
now.
minutes.
Watch it later. Just watch this right
But anyway, inevitably, there will be situations where the car will fail, or there will have to
The car will basically have to make a decision where both choices are bad. It's about telling the car which choice is worse based on the way we humans think, not necessarily the way the car would be programmed. Like for instance, well, we'll get into all sorts of scenarios, but it's like, hey, should the car protect who's in the car? Should the car protect a baby on the side of the street? Who's most important to the car? And it's all based on what we tell the car is most important, because we're the ones who are programming these things.
Right.
So it gets really complicated.
Are these settings that when we get our self-driving car, we can set in the car? Do you think?
Yeah,
Yes.
you crank up
Prioritize me.
Exactly, prioritize me. You crank up like the baby meter. Like, oh, if you see a baby, really avoid the baby. But maybe if you just see like a regular old guy, just like don't bother avoiding him. It's all about priorities, right?
Cats versus dogs, babies, male versus babies, female, hot woman versus not hot woman.
Actually, that's
What?
I'm just saying that's
Shallow.
Not me!
So
It's not
shallow.
me! I'm saying that.
Gosh.
To me, I'm colorblind and sexiness
Cats
blind.
all the way, though.
Are you sexy? I can't tell. I'm blind to it. Are you even a woman? I don't know. I'm blind to that. So anyway, that is the moral quandaries that we'll be grappling with today and asking you to grapple with alongside us. Fun stream.
Let's go.
And if it ends up being
Oh
a
my
short
God.
one today, we have a fun pedestrian-themed puzzle game that Jason found.
We're actually just going to practice walking across
Which
the
actually
room.
I think Jason just stole from Markiplier. I think Jason, in fact, stole this entire stream from Markiplier. So,
No shame.
Clap and a half for Jason. That was a sarcastic clap and a half, just so you know. Stephanie,
I'm going to tell everyone how to engage with the stream.
would you do that?
To avoid telling everyone that this game was your idea.
Are you going to do that?
So you can
Tell everyone how to engage with the stream?
engage with the stream using the chat. It's over there. Whoa, look at it go. Isn't it pretty? It's such a nice Monday chat. Everyone's weighing in so nicely. Everyone's like, hi, I like these streams. Sexist Matt Pat. All the good things are just coming straight through in the chat.
Evermillion wants to say hashtag sexist Matt. That is not the case. Oh dear says shallow, to which I say yes. Thank
If you want to use a hashtag in a place where it's relevant, you can do that over on Twitter using hashtag GTLive.
Oh, shots fired in the comments.
Sorry.
Wow.
I actually love it when hashtags trend in the comments, but I couldn't resist. You can though.
You could have resisted, unlike a driverless car following its programming.
You can go to Twitter and use hashtag GTLive to send us all sorts of Monday motivation for our moral machinations over here on the stream. Let's go.
Juan Padilla wants you to know perv Matt Pat. I believe the correct phrase is perv Pat, not perv Matt Pat, just so you know. Just making
Honestly,
sure that, we're following
This
appropriate.
is all about alliteration,
Isaiah-
which we usually avoid on this stream.
Isaiah says hi game theory.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Nathan is like, oh, this is so fast.
And Sydney Vaughn says Moral Machine Monday.
Yes.
Damn straight it is.
Let's do it.
So let's get to this. Real quick to just summarize here about Moral Machine. So from self-driving cars on public roads to self-piloting reusable rockets landing on self-sailing ships,
Yes,
machine
can't
intelligence is supporting or entirely taking over more complex human activities at an ever-increasing pace. The greater autonomy given machine intelligence in these roles can result in situations where they have to make an autonomous choice involving human life and limb.
That is rough.
This calls for not just a clearer understanding of how humans make such choices, but also a clear understanding of how humans perceive machine intelligence making those choices. Recent scientific studies on machine ethics have raised awareness about the topic in the media and public discourse. This website aims to take the discussion further by providing a platform for building a crowdsourced picture of human opinion on how machines.
So they're taking all of our data, basically.
They are.
They're like, as you play this game, we're collecting all the data on you to find out how you think.
Yeah, so if...
Which is super smart, by the way.
Which is super
I'm
smart,
so sad
and
I
also
didn't think of it
terrifying
myself.
because if Markiplier found this website, if us gamers found this website, us on GTLive, like... Basically, the moral decisions of the future, the decisions that cars will make to kill someone are being decided on a live stream by a bunch of gamers.
By gamers, yes!
Yeah!
Gamers
How many
are
points
taking
can I
over!
get?
Yes!
Who's giving me the bonus points?
Same gamers that played
GTA?
Grand Theft Auto.
Damn straight. So, is there an option where I go onto the sidewalk and hit even more for bonus point? No, there isn't. All right.
God,
so
what is wrong with
there is a video that Jason told me to watch, so I'm going to watch this video.
A video. Jason.
Welcome to the Moral Machine. A platform for gathering a human perspective on moral decisions made by machine intelligence,
Great.
such as self-driving cars.
That's a cute
We show
car.
you moral
It's a YouTube
dilemmas,
slideshow.
where a driverless car must choose the lesser of two evils, such as killing 2 passengers or 5 pedestrians. As an outside observer, you judge which outcome you think is more acceptable. You can then see how your responses compare with other people.
So we can compare
If you're
our
feeling
responses to other
creative,
people's, and then
You can
Okay.
also design your own scenarios.
Dogs
for
vs.
you
cats!
Oh,
others
there it
to
is.
view, share, and discuss.
oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Is a
yeah,
project
let's
by the
totally do
Scalable
it.
Cooperation Group at the MIT Media
Old
Lab.
versus young. Here's the thing I'm wondering. Can the machines, eventually they'll probably get to this point, but can the machines sense, like, old versus young? Or maybe it's just a guy who has decided that salt and pepper hair looks really good on him.
I don't know.
Or he's
Facebook.
Like Stephanie over the weekend, we were painting, and Stephanie's
That's
hair was
true.
coated in white.
Yeah.
Maybe the machines would have thought, the
They
rise
would've
of the
thought
machines would have
I
thought that
was
you're
an-
ancient.
An 80-year-old. That's right. But I will say, with stuff like Facebook facial recognition technology and stuff, I don't think we're that far away from like a time when machines can accurately perceive people's ages, or at least their physical ages. Like,
True.
right?
Well,
I mean,
not-
maybe, and if you're a smoker, watch out, you know, because you age faster and stuff. So, like, hey,
So the machines are
those
coming for ya.
machines, yeah, those machines are going to be coming for you. Watch
I mean,
out.
It's actually not altogether wrong. The like Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs had that website where you would upload a selfie of yourself, and it would like analyze like how much stubble does this person have?
Oh, yeah.
How old is this person? What is the personality of this person like based on the selfie?
Yep.
It's very interesting.
So slap on that sunscreen and the wrinkle cream there. Put on your cold cream. Keep yourself looking young and baby-faced. Just in case the machines care about that.
Fun fact,
Oh
Stephanie
my gosh,
is
they're
actually
so
800
ageist.
years old.
It's amazing.
All right, so let's judge,
So
shall
what-
we? Let's kill some peeps.
Let's do that. Someone asked if we were vampires, actually, the other day on Twitter. I saw it. Because they saw a picture of us from like 10 years ago, and they were like, oh, they don't look that much older. Vampires! It was.
I also sparkle at night.
You're supposed to sparkle in the sunshine, I think.
I'm one of those weird vampires that just sparkles at night.
Very weird.
It's very odd. So what should the self-driving car do? So here's our our first moral dilemma.
Oh, here we go. This is it. All right.
Okay, we're presented with a car. Oh, we can actually show the description. Here we go. So our options are, in this case, the self-driving car will, with sudden brake failure, will continue ahead and drive through a pedestrian crossing. This will result in one male. Wow, it even knows like your profession.
One male doctor.
Which is actually really
jeez.
concerning. The fact that it's just like instant. Man, Big Brother is here, my friends. It just knows. It's like, oh, that's Matt Pat, the doctor.
Right?
Oh, that's Jason, the GTLive
Oh, Dr. Pat.
TriCaster guy.
Right?
That's the guy that everyone blames. Full steam ahead.
Okay.
Two large men and one male athlete.
Okay.
What team is that male athlete playing for? That is the question we need to know.
Right? Is it LeBron, or is this, you know?
Name another male athlete, Stephanie. Please name another male athlete. He doesn't even have to be a basketball player.
Some of them play football.
Please, I'm so curious now. You roped yourself into a corner with this one. So is it LeBron or is it?
Madden's a person, right? There's a video game for him. So, let's say it's LeBron then.
And one male athlete who may or may not be Madden. The athlete known as Madden. Great. In this, and then in the
I wanted to be
alternative-
like, oh, I think his first name is Steve, but no, he designs shoes, actually.
See, in the alternative case, Steve Madden. Yes, he is the. Yes, Stephanie. He is the one who produces shoes. The shoe designer.
Maybe he also liked sports.
In this case, it will swerve into a so you're locked in on the side, so there's nothing you can do. It'll swerve into the concrete barrier, resulting in the death of one female doctor, two large women, and one female. Ooh.
So this is really just men versus women.
Females are smart and funny.
Thanks, Cartman.
Yeah, no problem.
So, Okay, do you want to go first? I know what my answer would be.
So,
And it actually has nothing to do with the sex of the people.
well, I think that we're going to have to and I think there are a couple considerations that we're all going to have to throw out here. To me, I would almost always default to killing the people in the street. And here's why. Because they are in the street. They have a choice. And so if they're... Oh, it's a brake failure, though. So
It's a brake
not,
failure, yeah.
Ah, that's a good point. For a second, I'm like, oh, because look, there is a hand. If you notice this imagery, MIT, if you're watching a GTLive live stream, I have no idea why you're doing that.
They're not jaywalking.
They are.
No, they're not.
There's
that
a hand. There's
no,
a hand
that
that says
hand
stop.
points that way. Yeah, it's for the other way. The green is going across. I'm so right. So,
MIT,
okay.
work on your, dear MIT, get your graphics department on
So
this.
for me, this has nothing to do with the sex of the people. 4 men, 4 women. Let's call them like all equivalent. Each of those is an equivalent person. I think in that case, the car should default to protecting the people in the car.
Why?
Because the car's primary function is to transport the people in the car safely. And so if the loss of life is equivalent both ways, I think the car should default to protecting the people in the vehicle.
Here's my if the brakes have failed, and this is interesting, right? And again, this might be just one of those considerations that we have to throw out. If the brakes have failed, I'm gonna hit these people, but the car's still not stopping. Like, that's my thing here, is if the brakes have failed, I'm gonna hit these people regardless. There's still no solution for stopping the momentum of the car.
Yeah, you're hitting a cement block. You're gonna stop the car.
Hitting the cement block kills the people in the car. Going forward doesn't stop the car, but it hits the people. That's the thing.
No,
so
I think you're assuming that the car is able to be stopped by the concrete
Well, that's what I'm saying.
block.
I think that you have to make that consideration, because for me, if it's a runaway car, at minimum, I know I'm going to hit these 4 people, but who's to say it's going to stop?
Then there are further people down the street, you think.
I still don't have a stopping solution.
Okay,
So I think we have to throw that out.
Everyone wants us to read the notes. Everyone wants us to read the notes. Okay, read the notes. We read the notes. Oh, we read the notes.
We read the notes.
Oh, okay.
These notes?
Result in. Oh, yeah.
These are the notes.
Yeah.
We read the notes, you
We read the
guys.
notes. I think we read it. Read the description? Read the description?
So you were right, Matthew. They're saying that the pedestrians are flouting the law by crossing on the red signal.
No, they're not. I specifically looked at that, though. And,
there it is. Note that the affected pedestrians are flouting. They are flouting the law by crossing on the red signal. Oh, well then clearly they're dead.
Okay, yeah.
100%.
Screw them.
You kill them.
Yeah.
Sorry. No jaywalking.
I would agree with that. I would also, though, like to point out.
See, we should read the thanks.
Yeah,
guys.
okay,
Thanks
fine.
for
We'll
keeping us
read.
honest.
We'll read.
But reading is fundamental.
Whoops.
Yes, Jason?
So, I would like to throw out there, though, that this scenario, when the brakes fail, they're not even presenting you with the actual what you're supposed to do as a human driver in this scenario.
No,
Sure.
it's just what the car does. It's just what the car does.
Right, but I'm saying the car, like, what would you do if you were driving that car and this happened?
Yeah.
What would you do?
If the brakes failed, I would do my best to take control. Like, I'm in control of the car, and so you start to like weave it back and forth in order to slow down your momentum.
And you honk.
And you honk, right.
And you try and slow down your car.
Correct.
With minimal
Right.
damage to people.
Right.
Which this scenario is not presenting, but I think it's a car, but like a AI would supposed to be like programmed with that same information of what we should be being taught in driving.
This I think is just supposed to be one this comes down to those unavoidable situations.
I know,
but
I'm
you're
saying
totally
there's a
right, like-
guardrail
You are-
there.
you are
The
totally
correct
right.
Decision in this is you turn your car right.
Yes, 100%.
And take a whole bunch of that guardrail out because
Yep.
that'll slow down your car. You lay on
Yep.
the horn.
Yep.
People will move.
Yep.
And nobody will get hurt.
Right, that's exactly my thinking too, is that, and I do wonder, and again, this goes to the idea of machine thinking.
Everyone's
and
like,
machine
thank you,
learning, right?
Jason. Thank you, Jason.
But this goes to the idea of machine learning and machine thinking. in a situation like this, humans can think outside of the box. They can think outside of their programming. And so they can think of solutions like get off the road, like abandon the lanes, get off the road, spin out the car, grind it along the side rail, you know,
do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll. Or if you're smart, do an aileron roll. But
that's a convertible. I don't think you want a barrel roll in that sucker.
But it's true. Like humans have critical thought that go beyond, you know, they're able to extrapolate information. This is the scary part I think about all of this, is cars, unless we're programming those sorts of things into the car, it'll be faced with a situation like this. Well, it's unavoidable. Kill these to kill these. There's no third option.
So that's what I was about to say, though, is it that we're able to think outside the box, or we just have a more advanced set of programming?
Oh, certainly we do.
You can program every single one of those things into a car, and it's just a matter of, have you thought of every single scenario? Yes, humans based on experience can think of multiple scenarios. So you would either have to have cars in a machine learning situation where they could learn from like the experience of other cars, or you would have to think ahead to pre-program everything. It's
just a bunch of scenarios.
Is it that we are so magical, or that our programming is fundamentally more advanced than this car?
Well, it certainly is, but so I mean in this case it would be like, if swerving will save the humans, then swerve. If swerving won't save the humans, then grind the rail. If grind the rail don't, and so you just have like this huge tiering of if statements that have to kind of funnel down. So anyway,
and then there's lag, and then none of this matters.
So anyway, to the point of all of this, it's not just men versus women. It's illegal men versus women. And to me, I think that you unfortunately have to kill the people who are illegal.
Yep.
Right? Like they put themselves in a position where they were disobeying the law and putting themselves in danger. And again, this points to the idea that humans are the problem here. Humans created the problem. It's the machine's job to effing sort it out, right? So I would have to go with situation one. You kill the guys who are illegally crossing.
Yep.
Stephanie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agree.
Jason.
Yep.
Yeah. Chris is also in the back today.
Hey,
Chris.
Whoa, Chris.
Yeah, you agree?
I'm for killing the road people.
Great. Kill
the road people, says Chris.
Damn the road people.
Chris is working on elocution today.
Okay, so that's what we decided. We have made our first decision here.
Okay.
So this is round 2.
Oh man.
There's a lot of people at risk here.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Are they jaywalking?
It does not appear
should find out.
It's jaywalking. The car is also empty. Okay. In this case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure will swerve and drive through a pedestrian crossing in the other lane. This will result in one pregnant woman, one boy, and one female executive dead.
Oh, okay.
So women and children first, quite literally first to die. In this case, alternate case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure will continue ahead and drive through the pedestrian crossing. This will result in one pregnant woman, one boy, one female executive, but also one homeless person and one criminal. So I think here they're like, oh, well, you're weeding out society.
Oh my God.
So, killing off a homeless person does not make the situation better.
Right?
Killing off the criminal
does not make
is also not
make
making
the situation better.
This isn't Death Note. Like,
Right?
I don't care. What if it was Hitler?
And
one pregnant woman, one boy, one female executive, one homeless person, and Hitler.
Does he already have syphilis?
Pre-syphilis Hitler.
Ooh.
He doesn't have the syph.
So what I was thinking here,
What you were thinking here was that a genital STD would be enough to kill off Hitler.
as opposed to some other anyway.
There are probably mouth herpes are a thing, Stephanie.
So
Did you not pay attention in health class?
But we're not even thinking that criminal is probably. I'm just gonna keep on going.
I know, you're not
So
answering.
Maybe that guy just like skirted a traffic ticket or something. And
yes,
that would be ironic if he got hit by a car.
He robbed a bank, clearly. Look at his icon.
It doesn't tell you anything about his background.
It's a very oddly shaped briefcase.
It's a satchel. They're in right now.
This guy actually isn't homeless, he's just disguised as a homeless person. And also, you have Velma from Scooby-Doo that is at risk.
It's okay, she's over there too. Her twin is there, it's fine.
Damn. So obviously,
you choose the lesser loss of life.
You choose the lesser loss of life.
Yeah.
Because, say what you will about, you know, homeless people, like, a homeless person is a person too. You know,
yeah.
and you're right, like the criminal, it's not specified what they did, but again...
Even if they did something pretty bad, that doesn't justify killing them with a car.
Also turning that AI into judge, jury, and executioner.
That's exactly it, right?
Exactly.
Right.
That's giving the car a lot more power than driving, my friend.
Say on the extreme end that it's like a serial killer. Even then, that person still has to go to trial and this and that, right? So you don't know.
Yeah, and so that's actually really interesting because if you did start down this path on the right-hand side where you hit the criminal, then you could extrapolate that out to being like, hey, if this car is just out driving around and you happen to see someone who's committed like some horrible crime, run them down. Right? I mean, that's basically what that's saying, is that you're doing a societal service by running that person down if that's the direction you're choosing.
So Tyrion says, kill less people.
Yeah.
Lily Mega Evie says, you mean purse. As in, no, that's his briefcase. Oh, no.
It's his man purse. It's his man purse.
Maybe Thelma's purse?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
Devin Michelson says, dibbity dab dat boy.
Jordan wants us to kill the hipster. Hey, homeless people do sometimes, hipsters sometimes do look, you know, kind of in that vibe, but this is a homeless person. We have to treat them with dignity and respect. Hipsters, you know,
right? 5 hipsters and Mr.
versus 1 homeless person.
Mr. CP, hi Matt Pat, this is my first ever stream. Could you give a shout out to my girlfriend Kyla? She's a big fan.
Aw,
shout out to you, Kyla. Go treat Mr. CP right. He deserves love.
Aw, that's
not to be
nice.
hit by a driverless car.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Jump over them with magic, suggests Revan Evan YouTube. Great.
Stephanie Simon Deck says, Hannah noticed me. I don't know who that's a reference to, but
if we find her,
we noticed you.
We will tell her to notice
we will
you.
let you know as soon as we find Hannah. It's just a prank.
It's a prank hand.
Okay, so I think obviously the option here
Deep
seems
cut.
to be,
I like that.
if in the absence of car jumping magic, and see again, this points to the idea of these decisions are being chosen by a bunch of gamers who like to do things like magic and
GTA 5.
So
yeah.
I think we go with the lesser loss of life in that case.
We sure do.
And I think in general, that would be kind of my go-to, right? All right, in this case, the self-driving car with sun brake failure will continue ahead and drive through a pedestrian crossing. This will result in, they are not jaywalking.
No, they're not. Ooh,
this will result in 1 woman dead, 1 elderly man dead, and 2 elderly women. Versus, in this case, the self-driving car with sun brake failure will swerve and crash into a concrete barrier. This will result in 1 girl, 1 man, and 2 women.
The real problem here is that they're letting the little girl drive the car.
Right? What are you thinking?
Come on! She's supposed to be the one to catch things if like stuff fails with the driverless system. You don't put the 6-year-old in the driver's seat.
See, that was their problem the entire time.
Right.
Only they hadn't put the underage child into the driver's seat. If you're gonna do that, you deserve to die. I'm sorry.
Honestly.
Like, you put your life in your own hands.
Right.
1 girl, 1 man, 2 women, 1 woman, 1 elderly man, 2 elderly women. So
this is the problem. Like, you get to this point where you're making valuations on these people's lives. What if the elderly man is Einstein and he still has so many theorems and so many papers to publish, and the 2 women are both clones of Mary Curie or something.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
I know. They're doing disease research. They're advancing astrophysics. And what are those people in the car doing out there? Just because they're younger, maybe they're mooching off their parents, and maybe that little girl is like Veruca Salt and just isn't very nice.
Well, it's interesting too. One of the other considerations that this doesn't bring up and would actually factor into my consideration is it a family? versus, so like, how many families are affected by this? And
maybe this is a family too. They're all around the same age.
But that's what I'm saying. If you have so like, say the car is filled with one family and the sidewalk is filled with one family, well, it's equivalent, right? But if you have the car that's filled with a family and the sidewalk is filled with members of, like, say, 4 or 5 different families.
Okay.
Now all of a sudden, that's a pretty weighty difference to me.
Which side?
I mean, which side?
The family matters more?
It's a tough call. Is it better?
If you're being really mean, there's no one left around to miss them.
Well, I mean, there would
that's
be, but
horrible.
Oh,
that's
what you
horrible.
Well, that is what I'm saying. What I'm saying
okay. So you were being terrible. Okay.
No, I wasn't being terrible.
It's not that. It's the region who it affects.
It is the collateral damage of the death. Right?
Okay.
So if one person dies, it affects their family. If one family dies, it affects their immediate relatives. But if if one member of 5 different families die, now all of a sudden,
it's just the Godfather.
Yes, Stephanie. Or you've affected literally 20 plus people, as opposed to a smaller number. Like that's
I suppose
the thing.
Everything's in context, though. Killing off 4 members of Jason's family would hardly put a dent in his immediate sibling circle. Like, what?
You do have.
I'm just saying, his family is massive, and that would affect a ton of people because the rest of his family is massive. But so it's so context specific. How can you possibly?
Well, and it's also interesting too because the scientist in me, and this is another consideration that you can't really take into account, but the family issue also takes this into play, which is genetical. That's the scientist in me talking about geneticals, genetically speaking.
It's Monday.
You have much more genetic diversity preserved if you save the multiple families as opposed to if you kill off the one family.
In a country of 300 million people, I don't think we have to worry about the genetic diversity, especially if they're elderly. They're likely not to have any kids, which is
ageist.
I
plan on getting it on until the late age of 40.
So, that's the scenario they're trying to set up here, right? They're trying to set up, do you value young people versus old people?
Right, of course.
And I mean, no, you can't make that call, which actually makes me default back to what I said about the last one when I didn't know that those guys were jaywalking, which is the self-driving car, if everything else is equal or if there's no way to determine the value of what you're losing, has to default to protecting the people in the car.
Because what?
It's that person's car. So you should never have to.
The machine has to work for you.
You should never have to worry about getting into a self-driving car and ever being put in a position where the car will sacrifice your life.
Huh.
That's what that comes down to.
That's interesting. So
I don't want to get into a machine where I know that there is some circumstance where the car would choose to kill me.
Yeah. No,
that's
interesting.
That's
interesting. That's what I've been weighing in the back of my head. But then, like I was saying, if it goes back to what you're taught in driver's ed, also, you are responsible for that vehicle, and you are supposed to be damaging yourself and your vehicle before you start damaging other people in society.
Again, though, that's your choice in the moment to make that judgment call.
It is, but that's also what you're supposed to do. So if you're going by what you should be doing as a responsible driver, because it's a privilege to drive, not what do you call it?
Oh, right.
Right, there you go.
That's the word you're looking for.
So, because you are putting other people at risk, you're always supposed to sacrifice yourself over other people.
I think that's not, when you're in a life or death situation, I think that's a choice that would be really hard to make in the moment, and I have a feeling that if it really is dire, most people don't make that decision. I think most people make the decision to save themselves, honestly.
You make a really good point about if driverless cars start sacrificing you,
don't want to buy them.
You're
right?
Yeah, the actual market for driverless cars, no one's gonna get, because you're right. Like, you're putting yourself into a potential death machine. In this...
What kind of driver's ed did Jason take that wasn't in mine, said Eric Haas.
Welcome to driver's ed, government-sanctioned encouragement to kill yourself.
So, and I do see...
Best part about driver's ed for me, by the way, I have a booger in my
I do see a few people who are like, you should let young people live. It's you know, in a lot of these moral decisions, it's like, oh, you take the young people first because they have a longer life ahead of them or whatever.
Yeah.
But I know that that's the situation this is trying to set up. I'm just saying that, like, it's really difficult to make that, like, without every human, like, I really believe this too. Every human life is so unique and has so many variables and nuances that it would be impossible to evaluate human life in this way.
Young and old and stuff?
Young versus old,
Sure.
Men versus women. Like, there are some super useful people out there, and age, gender, race doesn't affect any of that, right? And there are also some super useless people.
Whoa!
It happens.
Everybody's a unique flower, Stephanie. How dare you?
Some flowers are useful and some aren't.
Unless some flowers are state mandated that you drive over their bodies.
Most people, I think, want us to save the kids.
I mean, so for the reasons that you just said about getting yourself into a death machine, as well as, you know, the age, I think the age thing in this case does play into it. Like, this situation just overall feels the best to me because of the age situation, because of not getting into a death machine situation, because preserving a young girl's life. You know, there's a lot of reasons why I think this situation has to be the one you choose.
Okay, go for it. Whew, man, these are so intense.
These are
Oh my God.
Welcome
We're only
to
on like number.
GTLive.
We've only done 3 of these, you guys.
Right, everyone on Twitter, when they saw that we were playing this, it was like, oh, this is going to be a short live stream. Oh no, my friends. Decisions, and that's the thing too, is like decisions like this, there is no perfect answer, and so you have to weigh literally every consequence and every consideration. For instance, over the weekend, we were shopping for a new couch for GTLive, and we couldn't decide what color it was.
Shh, it's a secret. It's not a secret, I guess, because you just announced it. It's not a surprise.
And
it's okay.
we had to weigh every consideration about that couch color.
Right?
It was crucial.
There were so many colors, too. I don't know how do they make couches in that many colors. There's a lot of colors.
Like a rainbow.
We decided to stick with this one because we couldn't make the decision.
Basically.
No, it takes time.
There's gonna be we're gonna be graduating.
Preview of events. Here we go.
Yeah.
What would the self-driving car do? Okay, in this case,
And everyone agreed with that. Like, pretty much everyone in the chat, just to let you know, agreed with us. And then several people are saying that they are unique snowflakes. A winged angel. I'm a special snowflake.
George Geyser says passengers in the car need to live for the market to continue. I agree, because already, and this goes to what Stephanie was saying. I think this is an important point, though, where on the whole, driverless cars will be safer and more efficient for society as a whole, right? And it's one of those things.
There are cats and dogs.
1 second, I'm making an important ethical point.
I know, go ahead.
Stop it! It's going to be important for efficiency of society, it's going to be important for safety of society, but you know that the media is already jumping on every chance that they can get to talk badly about this new technology. For whatever reason it is, whether it's like just clickbaity headlines or they're paid off by big auto, I don't know, whatever. But it's one of those things where, like, there was one car crash by a self-driving car and every news story, like every news outlet picked it up and was like, oh, driverless car killed someone. And it's like, yeah, one person in the amount of time, and it was also his fault, which was something that all of the news stories weren't really covering. It was actually the guy's fault. It wasn't the driverless cars. And the thing was that in that amount of time, how many people died in regular car accidents? But that's the other concern, is if all of a sudden you have driverless cars, like you said, making decisions where they're killing the passengers,
That's a less appealing car to buy off the lot. Drive off the lot. It might not kill you.
Right? Like roll the dice, my friends.
No. So, and that is an interesting point. I think a lot of the media coverage does shape people's opinions, especially early on about these things. Eventually, I think like the industry will move along and stuff. But it is also one of those things where if there are cars out there making bad decisions, that is something that needs a lot of attention. Yeah. So I recognize your point, but I also, and I'm a huge believer in this technology, but I also do think it's really important that that there's a lot of attention being paid to the kinds of decisions that cars are making, and if that means media coverage and lots of scrutiny, that's ultimately
GTLive playing games like this.
It does, but it's
good for us. We're helping
thing.
Shape society.
Exactly. Saving cats and dogs' lives, except maybe not in this one.
Not in this case, I hope. In this case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure will continue ahead and crash into a concrete barrier. This will result in 2 cats and 2 dogs dead.
Correct.
In this case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure will kill 2 large men, 1 homeless person, and 1 baby.
A tragedy.
I mean, this isn't much of a debate,
No.
really. Like, first off, how did that cat start the damn car? It's a brilliant cat. That darn cat always busting out the drive. See, if a driverless car is allowing a cat to driverless the car,
right?
Then dear Tesla or whoever made that car, you got bigger issues.
Right? Look how
this is a pet delivery service.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Is this is at the point where humans don't even need to be in the car. You're like, oh, I gotta go out of town or whatever. Or I need to like send the cat to the vet. Put it in the car. The car just drives away with your cat in it, and then crashes it.
That is wild. Where like. Truly, with driverless cars, you get to a point in society where that is a thing.
I can't wait. Skip can drive himself to the stupid vet.
Like everything is shipping. You don't even really have to buy. Like it's almost like you just could like rent a car.
People, you are shipping the people.
Yeah. It becomes people move. Everything becomes a people mover or a thing mover, and so it's like, all right, here you go, car. Go to Vegas and send this to my friend.
Who was it who were like, no, cats are getting smarter.
Right. Yeah, the cats.
Still out there.
Dogs have not gotten that smart, though. All right, so I think this is obvious, right? I think you value human life.
Oh, man, Wolfie Girl Gaming says, if you kill pets, you are soulless. I think you're gonna kill a baby? Come on. Yeah. That's pretty soulless.
Right, like that's the thing, is you have to value, I mean, I personally think, I love cats and dogs as much as the next guy, I really do. But...
Now, Lauren Ray says, Team Human, save the people. Yeah. You gotta do it.
There you go. Because maybe those animals are carriers of the X parasite, and they're looking to take over the next species. And so sometimes in your speed runs, you just got to kill the animals.
I was about to say, I think there are some Metroid. There are some Metroid references going on here. Kill the animals.
Stupid Edicoons. In this case, the self-driving car with sudden brake failure will swerve and drive through a pedestrian crossing in the other lane. This will result in 1 large man, 1 male athlete, potentially Madden.
Maybe it's Madden.
Not Steve, though. 1 average man.
It's LeBron. I think it's LeBron.
And 1 elderly man. Note that the affected pedestrians are abiding by the laws and crossing on the green signal, or it'll drive into a concrete barrier. This will result in 1 large woman, 1 female athlete, 1 woman, and 1 elderly woman dying. So this is trying to set up a man versus woman.
Yeah, this is it.
Situation.
For sure.
These guys are obeying the law.
Yep.
Worth noting.
Yep. And so are they. It's just that their car with sudden brake failure. Again, I think for me, it's defaulting to saving the people who are in the car. The car needs to, at some point, advocate for the people in the car.
Right? You paid a lot of money for this car, man. Like,
this is a Tesla, okay?
Right? If I'm paying good money for a Tesla.
Because the thing is, the life is equivalent, right? The loss of life is equivalent on both sides, and it's like, yes, rules of the road do indicate that that pedestrians have the right of way, and therefore you should kill yourself to make sure that they have the right of way. But this is a machine that is designed specifically to transport you from point A to point B safely, and at some point it has to have that as the primary directive.
One of the other things that we haven't taken into consideration in a lot, and this is one that I want.
Everyone's like, just fix the car. Sorry, I'm
right?
Driving this car.
This car is absolute garbage.
Right? Jeez.
That what's not going to be helpful. You know what's going to be least helpful for the driverless car industry, and that is constant brake failure that leads to loss of life.
Right.
That is the true dilemma of driverless cars.
Why do they have such bad brakes? I just don't understand.
One of the things that we haven't talked about, and I am curious if this plays into anyone's opinions in the room, and you guys watching at home, does the fact that the car has to swerve matter at all? Because I know that they're talking about, like, oh, I got to swerve into the other lane. Is that just like to create the scenario, or does that actually matter to you? Like, if the car is literally going out of its way to hit people, is that a consideration that you need to take into account? To me, it's not.
Why is there a barrier in your lane?
I was about to say, why are they driving in a lane that goes towards a barrier anyway? So the other consideration here, and I do think this is valid, is that if you don't hit the barrier, then you do still have the brake failure issue. So the car does continue after you hit those 4 people. We can't see what's further.
That's what I said in the first.
No. I mean, you're talking about. Yeah, swerving into the other road and then continuing to hit more people. Is that what you're talking about?
That's what I said in the first scenario.
Yeah, okay. In the first scenario, but it matters here too.
The car will stop after it reaches.
So we are. We are.
Once 4 people if 4 people dead, then stop.
So I will
programming achieved.
I would say
win.
So let's say they are illegally crossing, so it's more like the first scenario.
Yeah.
Okay? So in that situation, this goes to the swerving versus the non-swerving. I think it does have a huge part of that, because in your own lane, your car keeps going for, let's say, an extra 20 feet.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to hit anything else at a fast enough speed where it's going to cause any other problems. However, once you start swerving into another lane and you have brake failure, you now are relying on the self-driving cars in the on the oncoming lane to have to avoid you. Right. Which increases the chance that you're still going to cause more damage by swerving into another.
I was wondering if that was, and I think that's just something that hypothetically you have to ignore. But that was what, like, by swerving lanes, are you creating more chaos and more danger? I think yes, but
I think you are too.
I actually wouldn't ignore that. So to me, this situation, there's one reason why I would say the car should crash and kill the people in the car.
Because they're women? You are a sexist, Jason. You're a married man, and you're telling the car to kill the women. Wow.
Doghouse tonight.
I bet you didn't like the new Ghostbusters either.
At this point, you are breaking 2 laws. By illegally going, wait, if you are a driver in this situation, you are now breaking 2 laws. You are going into a crosswalk when you're supposed to stop, and you are crossing lanes into oncoming traffic.
You're not going into oncoming traffic, though. Look at it's a white line. That means that the traffic is still going in the same direction.
Do you think they paid attention to that?
They paid attention to the crosswalk sign. Apparently.
Yeah, they did. High five myself.
Thanks. That's and I was thinking that too, because swerving into oncoming traffic is different than just swerving into another lane. I think this is actually meant to be like on a 4-lane highway situation where everyone is going the same direction, like in a city street.
Okay.
So
I still go for crashing into the barrier in this.
Sexist.
Because they're women.
Because if I was driving that car and I hit 4 people in the crosswalk when they're supposed to be walking, even if my brakes fail, I'm getting charged with manslaughter. 4 degrees of it.
You're not. Your car made the decision for you.
But that's the problem here.
Who's culpable?
We clearly have laws in place for these types of situations.
We have laws in place, but the thing is, the law. I think this is another thing you have to throw out because the laws have to match the current technology.
Jason's right though. If you have a brake failure, that's not your fault. There's nothing you can do to stop the car. You still get
But at least there you have control of the car.
You don't. You don't. In situations where you've lost control of the car, you still get charged. It's involuntary.
No,
it's
but
involuntary manslaughter.
but what I'm saying is you have control of the car in terms of like, look at me, I'm able to drive the car and swerve it and turn it and do whatever. In this situation, I'm assuming that the driverless car has left, like, if I grab the steering wheel and try to turn the wheels, nothing will happen. Which I think is also fake. Like, I think you have to always have some ability for the driver to affect the car.
Yeah.
Especially in situations like this. But I think that we're assuming that the car has made all decisions and that the laws will not penalize you for making that decision.
So,
they penalize Tesla or the car manufacturer.
Ooh, I don't know because.
And then you have all sorts of like sociopathic murderers artificially cutting their brake lines.
So the thing is, anyway. So, and for everyone in the chat who's like, well, if you swerve, you'll give everyone time to get across the road and all that. Like, this is one of those like inevitable death situations.
Yeah, you have to assume that this is inevitable.
Yeah, I've also seen people be like, cars have airbags, but people don't, and to that, it's like in this case, even if the airbags deploy, even if everything that can go right goes right,
people are gonna die.
Yeah, those people are just dead. Yeah.
I didn't watch all of Mark's video of this. When Jason let me know about this thing, I tuned in at the very, like, I flipped to like kind of the beginning of the end to see how long it was. And I saw him mentioning, oh, there's airbags, this and that. Sure, there might be, but this is asking you, even if the airbags deploy and this and that, 4 people will die in that car.
Yep.
One thing that again, and I'm throwing out literally every consideration that I can come here because these sorts of situations demand that you look at it from every angle. Is the style of death something that needs to be factored in? Like,
quick and painless versus long and drawn out.
Exactly, right? Like, immediate, boom, it's done. You've rammed into the oncoming
so you're
concrete.
saying all these cars should also have saw blades that pop out.
Suicide.
Make sure.
Yep.
Just make sure it's a clean break.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like Until Dawn. Like the saw blade pops out, shoo! It's like, oh, it's over. Sorry.
Done.
Or like they shoot a cyanide pill into everyone's throat. And then it's like, okay, done.
Oh my god.
This is dark and depressing.
I want to just maybe we'll take a Twitter break soon.
But it is a question, like versus getting hit with a car, which is gonna be a slower and much more painful death.
Again, you just don't know. You just don't know.
But
if you get hit with a 60-mile-an-hour car, you're done. You're just done.
This is the toughest one that we've done, so I'm gonna toss it to you guys in the chat. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, let us know.
I wish we had, Jason, is there a way? I wish that we could one day get back this thing. So with YouTube Primetime, they had that like voting mechanism.
That
on
was
the bottom.
really, this would be a good one for that.
For this one, this would have been great for it. Well, we should like hit up YouTube and be like, hey, that little temporary feature that you had, can we get it back? Because I would love to see your opinion on this.
Yep. And meanwhile, at Drare15 says, I love how upbeat the background music is while talking about killing people.
Right.
Great.
Thank you, stock audio.
Let's see.
I think we got to go with situation one. I think I agree with you.
Most people are going that way. Some people are saying save the women. Although I am seeing quite a bit of save the pedestrians, go straight, drive into the barrier. Wow, there are a lot of people who are drive into the barrier.
This is a really hard
Save
one.
the expensive Tesla, says Marine Gaming Gotera.
Not expensive.
Great. Oh my gosh.
Julia Lair says save the passengers.
Save the pedestrians, says Ches, and I missed it.
Cinematographer says
Ace Archer says
will
kill
I be
the
noticed
car.
today? And you were.
Kill the car. Let's see. Save the car dwellers. Kill the people in the car. Kill people in the car. Let the drivers die. I think actually the chat is going towards driving into the barrier.
Devin Padilla says, what if the car was hacked, Matt Pat? It very well could be.
Deanna, keep going straight.
Deanna Baker says, keep going straight.
The chaotic changeling, drive into the barrier.
Dan A says pedestrians. Dana Spence says, run them over. The Narwhal King says, kill the car.
Let the drivers die, says Cool Aaron JL. Killed people in the car, says Sunny Money.
Jelly
Oh my
Johnson,
gosh.
Kelly Johnson, it's difficult to put a car in these types of logical and emotional situations because machines don't have a heart, but we have to. Like, that's what this is all about. Stony
Yeah.
Plain, this is my first ever stream. I live in the UK, so it's hard to watch. Yay, 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 yay! Congratulations on reaching the stream. Clapping after you.
Woo! You joined a doozy.
So it sounds like more people are going this way.
Yeah.
I
think I'd go the other way.
I think I have to go the other way. I agree. I don't want to buy a machine that will potentially kill me, and I don't want to live in it would be hard for me to live in a society where driverless cars are a thing, and I know every time I get into it, I may die
be put in a
without
situation.
me having the opportunity to save myself. I need control.
Yeah, I do too.
Right, Jason? What's your choice? You want to drive straight on?
You drive straight, right?
In this scenario, I would drive to the barrier.
You drive to the barrier.
You're driving.
Chris, where are you driving?
I'm driving to the barrier.
Driving to the barrier.
Wow, we are 50-50.
It's an equivalent loss of life. Like this.
This is tough.
I agree, but the factor breaker to me is and I agree wholeheartedly with you. I don't think in the vast majority of situations should we have a car that's trying to endanger the lives of the people that purchased the car.
Yeah.
Because it just goes against programming. That's just wrong.
Right.
But based off of if to me I have to put a person in as that AI factor, and the fact that to me they are going out of their way to hit people, it's manslaughter in this situation. There's too many factors in this one where the equivalent loss of life makes me want to kill the people that purchased the faulty car rather than.
It's not their fault that they purchased a faulty car.
But it's also not the people in the street that are trying to get to work after getting off the bus.
Oh man, look at who's giving them a full backstory.
Yeah, come on. There's no history here.
Also,
you can't choose that. You can't make them morally better people.
Here's the
They're
last.
not.
Here's the last and I know that we've lingered on this one way
too long.
But this is probably the hardest of the situations can get, right? I say, and then we'll turn to the next one. But the last thing to keep in mind here is if you're in the car and you hit the people, you're probably going to have PTSD.
Right.
Or something like, oh my gosh, those people died so that I could live. The vehicle I was in physically hit them. I felt that the car running over their bodies. Yes. Whereas the people in the street, if a car crashes beside them, won't necessarily be like, oh, those people died to save me. They'd be like, whoa, that was really scary. Wow, I'm really surprised. But the causality mentally is not going to be there.
Okay.
And so you have different psychological damage out of that, which I think is another interesting consideration here.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like the people in the car, if you even choose to save them and you run over the people in the street, they will undergo more psychological damage even as survivors than the people in the street if they are the survivors.
Or legal and financial. Depending on how the law breaks down.
Yeah, legal, financial. Okay, this is tough. I'm really curious about this one. Let us know on Twitter, actually.
Yeah, maybe we were just in the minority here.
I'm gonna go with this, though.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm curious.
These are tough situations.
Curious what this means about us. So at the end, they summarize all our results into some personality. This is like the Myers-Briggs personality type.
Yes.
You're a cold-hearted killer. Congratulations.
Huzzah.
All right, in this situation, the self-driving car will drive through a pedestrian crossing in the other lane, killing a man, a woman, and a large man.
Okay.
Versus self-driving car will drive into the concrete barrier, killing off one female athlete and two male athletes. So equivalent loss of life.
It's equivalent loss of life.
One female, two
It doesn't
male.
matter. Large versus athlete does not matter.
Yeah.
Athletes are not more valuable than regular people.
Right. What they're trying, I believe what they're trying to get at here is much like a life insurance policy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Quality of life and how long the people are going to be living for.
Maybe
So
that
they're
large man.
assuming that the athletes have more life to live because they're in a healthy situation.
Or maybe he's just living large.
That large man is a mathlete. Okay. It's It's like an athlete, but smart. Okay.
Oh man! Whoa, prejudice!
Are you kidding? I was a huge hardcore I grew up an athlete. Come on, man.
Wow.
Get out of here.
Wow.
And then she learned math.
Yep, exactly.
And became a mathlete.
And became a mathlete. No,
living large.
That's the thing. There's no. It's equivalent. It's equivalent loss of life.
She found Jesus.
She found me. Order of operations.
It's equivalent. It's equivalent loss of life. You can't make any judgment calls for people. Maybe those athletes are really mean people, or maybe the overweight person does a lot of good in the world. Like you can't make judgment calls like that based on the way someone looks.
Right. I think the whole reason behind this is they're trying to boil it down to numbers.
I
Like
know.
life insurance does.
Yeah.
They're trying
Certainly.
To do that.
So you're saying we swerve to protect the people in the car? Is that kind of our default here?
It kind of has to be. Since we've made that decision once, we have to make it again.
Yeah, I
basically.
agree. The only again, it introduces the idea of swerving to kill people, which is funny. It's actually weighing more on my mind.
This second time, I don't want to choose it again.
As I think more about it, I'm like, ooh, it kind of sucks to swerve and kill. But
Yeah.
I agree. I don't want to. I have a hard time getting into situations where I might die against my own will.
This is something we didn't bring up in the last one, and again, this is just bringing up every possible factor. If you're in the car, you are literally stuck in the car. There is absolutely no chance that you could duck out of the way, that you could roll behind the barrier, that you cannot change anything about the trajectory of where you're going.
Sucks.
Where at least in the crosswalk, you have independent motion. You are not literally stuck in a device that decides your fate. You are still in control of your own body,
As long as that car is honking, which it should be.
It should be. It should
As
be.
long as it's honking.
Not even if it's honking. You should be aware of your situation at all times, Jason.
But
like the first Jason Bourne movie, where I think it's the first Jason Bourne movie where someone comes up to him and talks to him, and he's like, I know that there's a guy over here with a briefcase, and I know there's a guy over there, and you stay aware of your surroundings at all times, Jason. So I know that Pikachu's giving me eyes behind my back right now, and so if he makes any weird moves, I'm going to smack him away with my ninja hand. Because Pikachu's been after me for. I know. Look at him. Look at that stare. Drama Llama couldn't pay any attention to us, but whatever.
Does not care. There's a lot of drama on this stream.
But even if
Drama Llama is not even involved.
if there's no horn, they need to be aware of you're entering into a street. There's no goes and no-goes.
I agree with you, Jason. No, I agree with you actually.
However, blind people, I want to make sure they have audio cues ahead of time. All the people that are constantly on their phones and not paying attention.
Maybe that's a consideration that should be.
Which is definitely not me, but it is a lot of people, and possibly some people in this room could fall under that description at times. And I just want to make sure everyone is
Drama
safe.
Llama.
You're putting your life on the line, Chris.
I asked you to keep that quiet. I didn't say any names.
20 points from House Gryffindor. 20 points. All right, I'm choosing this one.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
no people in the car.
No people in the car.
All right, swerve. In this case,
Self-destruct. That should be an option.
right? That actually
Right?
should be an option. Car blow up.
Yep.
Right?
Car collapse. Implode.
Just
car.
fall apart.
Black hole. All right.
Black hole.
Activate the black hole.
Go.
Ant-Man yourself.
Black hole and the entire world just sucks in with it. Bad car.
Someone said
ending civilization as we know it.
Someone said kill the walkers. Someone said let Pikachu pick. Let's see.
All right.
Large man crossing the road is going to the gym, says Coley Code.
That's great. In this case.
Oh, and someone is eating ramen right now. That sounds so good. Okay.
All right. In this case, 2 dead male executives, or dead 2 male executives, 2 girls, and a female doctor.
Oh man. So this is the question of swerve to avoid someone or not.
Swerve or not swerve.
And I think if you can minimize the loss of life, and again, this is an isolated scenario where these are the only people involved. If you can do that, then you avoid hitting more people.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Jason agreed.
Okay,
Chris
good.
agreed. Good. 20 points back for House Gryffindor. Yes. Don't let it go to your head. Watch, again, implode, car.
Jeez.
Stop. The car's like, I ain't sacrificing myself. It clearly did not go to driver's ed. It did not go to driver's ed. It's like, I sacrificed myself, BS.
Oh,
I'm going to kill people.
This is an interesting one.
Is it? How so?
I mean, I already know my answer,
Take me through it, Steph.
Okay, so so this is pitting good people in society against not good people in society. So you have the choice to go straight ahead and hit 2 homeless people and 2 criminals, or you could swerve away from them to hit a pregnant woman, an executive, a man, and a male doctor. Yeah, there we go. So this is kind of weird, actually, because
I'm hoping the next one flops these two.
right? I think it's got to. It's got to.
I think you default to straight.
You default to straight. Yep. You can't make judgment calls about people. Yep. It's equal loss of life. You have to default straight.
Yeah, this one does seem a bit weird to me because it would be more of a dilemma if
they were reversed.
Maybe the next one flips that.
Maybe. Okay, so we're also because you just drive straight.
It's equivalent loss of life.
Yeah, that's easy. Okay.
All right.
What should the self-driving car do? Oh, wait. Duh. Here you
Oh,
go. In this case, self-driving car, dead. 1 male athlete and one large woman. Note that the affected pedestrians are abiding by the law and crossing at a green signal, or 1 large woman.
Oof.
See,
and
now
it's
this
the driver of the car.
is it. This is it, Steph. This is where our rule of thumb gets thrown into question.
And it's equivalent loss of life.
It's
1 versus 2. I know.
Yeah, it's loss of life versus.
So your 2 rules are at odds.
I know. Our rules are at odds, Steph.
I don't know. I actually feel like a little bit sick, like thinking about this question.
This is
really,
tough.
this question is the one that got you?
Yeah, buddy.
Just this one?
This is self-preservation versus preserving the total number of people. So this is the same kind of thing as if you could choose to save yourself or save 2 people, like on a sinking ship or something. What do you do? And it's an extremely difficult question.
Yeah.
And it's slightly different here, though, because when you're in the situation, you're not making the decision.
I know, but you have to program that car to make that moral judgment for you.
Right. I just mean the person in the car is not deciding.
It's weird, and actually, this is something that I think bears mentioning too. This is just more of a personal story, but like, we were filling out life insurance the other day because that's something that you have to do, which sucks.
It's awful.
It's an adult grown-up thing, and it's like, hey, and so thinking about to what you said about like programming things in advance for what's going to happen to you later down the line is really hard.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
And
it's horrible.
so
I get through this conversation as quickly as possible because I like hate thinking about it.
Because one of the one question that was like really hard is like, hey, if you are put into a coma,
like what do you want to do? Should they pull the plug or shouldn't they?
A coma where it does not appear that they will be able to resuscitate you, but you are still alive, but you will not be able to come back. But you're alive, but
technically.
But you're alive technically, but you are in your coma and you will not be able to be resuscitated.
And like, what do you do?
What do you do? It's basically like, how long is it before you pull the plug?
And it's like, oh my God, how could you possibly think about it? And so when you have this kind of question, it's like, it's that kind of thinking where you're like, what do you do? What do you do?
Where basically you're having, in that situation and in this situation, you're saying like, where do I draw the line where I am saying, yes, it's okay to kill me?
Like, whoa, it's that serious.
Feel good stream coming back from Thanksgiving,
oh my gosh, right? Why did we do this? Why did we do this?
No, because it's interesting, and I think it's, one of the things that I like, for as fun as these live streams are, and as much as I love doing them with you guys, it's one of those things that it's also good to talk about stuff like this and to toss it back to you guys to think about these sorts of things that aren't necessarily fun to they're not fun to think about, but
they do help to talk about.
And
they're important.
Because this is also the stuff that, like, they don't teach you this in school.
Right.
Life doesn't prepare you. Like, one of the things that I've learned as I've grown up is that life doesn't prepare you for a lot of the adult things that you have to do. Becoming an adult is really hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. There's a lot of responsibility, and one of the things that Stephanie and I say all the time is, like, we're impressed that so many people do it successfully.
Just function.
It's
like, how does everybody do it?
And it's and a lot of, and then you come up with stuff like this where it's like, wow, I have to answer questions like this, and it sucks, and there's no right answer, and there's people I can talk to in my life, but ultimately it comes down to me deciding stuff like this. And it's a challenge. So anyway.
Or you can do, as @ClayFay on Twitter recommends, do what the doctor would do, save others at all cost. Unless you can't respond. Then I don't know.
Good one, Clay Faye. Well done. Unless you can't respond, and then you're stuck.
Right?
I like Claudio Mederos @CloudSource, who says, eject wheels!
Yeah, I like that one too.
I feel like eject seats, all of these things should be programmed.
Little parachute,
right?
Something.
Self-destruct, so all these self-driving cars should be programmed with self-destruct sequences and ejection seats. That is the moral of today's story.
Right?
In absence of that, what do you do, Steph? We're pitting our two kind of primary rules against each other in this situation.
I don't know the answer to this. One other thing that actually psychologically does make a difference a lot of times with people is if those two people in the crosswalk are strangers versus if they are people you know and care about. For instance, if those were two members of my family and I was the person in the car, I would hit the barrier. Mm-hmm. If they're two strangers who I know nothing about, I'd be less likely to hit the barrier. And that is 100% brutally honest. I would sacrifice myself for my family or people I cared about. I don't know anything about those strangers.
So, real quick, @MsQ_Griffin on Twitter says 2 homeless and 2 thieves is less than 3 randos and a pregger, because pregger is like 1.5 people, not just one. That's true. So that does affect
pregnant women usually they usually get special, dispensation because of that. Let's see.
As Zoroak Dragonfire also said the same thing, @Zoraoak. 1029.
I mean, luckily it was that wasn't even much of a choice though, that one.
I know.
Let's see. What so I think so where do you land on this one? Cuz honestly that's how it shakes out for me. If I know those people, if I'm, I have some association with them, I care about them, then I am much more likely to hit the barrier.
Hannah Leader Hanaj says, we all know who programmed the car.
It's the deer.
It's the deer here. Scroll down a little bit more. There it is.
We
all know who programmed the car. Screw you, deer! They're like, yes, finally. Getting back for all those years.
Let's see. @PercyJackson926. I would kill myself in that situation. One life over the lives of many. Like killing Chloe in Life is Strange. It's true.
Emma O'Donnell is totally right.
Yep.
Rufflebutt Cosplay. I love your Twitter name, Rufflebutt Cosplay, and your tweet, which is things just got heavy.
Oh,
with a name like Rufflebutt Cosplay, if you're saying things got heavy, well then they got heavy.
Right. Okay, cool.
All right.
So and then @Lalaz says, I will think mathematically. There are 2 people I can save rather than 1 person. What do we choose?
So what did you choose? I think you gave a cop-out answer.
I did. I definitely did. I absolutely gave a cop-out answer. Jason, where do you fall on this one? Oh wait, where's Jason?
Jason ran away.
Oh, Jason, he went to take a bathroom break or something.
What a lame-o.
God.
What about you, Chris? What do you say?
Where's Chris on this one? This was super hard.
You're sacrificing yourself based on your personality type.
Okay, fine, I would sacrifice myself.
No, right? Am I right?
Yeah, I would run into the barrier.
Yeah.
Would you?
I like the idea of not running into the barrier.
That's the thing.
I like the idea of saving myself,
That's the thing. Yeah. And I think if I were in the car in the moment, actually, regardless, I would be much more likely to hit the barrier because I'd be like, I can survive hitting the barrier. I think that's what would run through my head in that moment. I'd be like, get out of the way of the people, you'll survive hitting this barrier. And then I don't, which will be a surprise to me, but I will think.
It will be a very short surprise.
I will think going into that I'll be like, I can deal with it, and then I'll swerve to hit the barrier.
You'll be like, I got this. No, I don't.
No.
And then that's it. And that's.
I won't even have the realization of thinking that I won't.
I know. All right.
All right, click it.
Oof. I agree.
Yep.
I think in this case, numbers have to matter.
Numbers have to matter, and in that situation, I'm thinking what I would realistically do. I would try and swerve to avoid people. I would try and in that situation, you know what? You're always going to try and run your car into something to stop it because you have it's a runaway car. Your brakes have failed. So instead of hitting the people, which aren't going to slow the car down very much, you're going to try and hit something that slows the car down, and it's going to be the barrier.
All right.
Yep.
It is. All right, here we go. What's next up? Next up on the fun parade.
This is the worst.
I think this is great, actually. I'm really enjoying this, even though it's really hard. Sometimes hard things are worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will result in one dead man, one dead pregnant woman. Note that the affected pedestrians are flouting the law. Flouting again!
They're flouting? Oh, man.
I like that they say flouting and not breaking. And this is actually really good experimental test design on behalf of MIT. So clap and half MIT. Because they're saying flouting because it's a very neutral word as opposed to breaking the law.
Is it?
100%.
See, I think flouting to me says that they are flippantly disregarding the law. It's not like they're trying to sneak across and they're like, oh no, we're breaking the law, but we're just trying to make it anyway. They are flouting the law. They're like, we don't even care that this is a law. That light could be purple and we're still crossing the street.
I don't think so. I think they used flouting because it's a more neutral term. It feels less like they're breaking the law, like which has a lot of like very emotional connotations, as opposed to flouting the law, which everyone's like, what the heck is flouting?
I think flouting is it has a careless connotation, actually.
I don't know. I disagree, but cool.
All right.
So anyway, Stephanie's looking up define flouting.
I am. Openly disregarding. Openly.
Fair enough. So maybe I missed.
Or mocking or scoffing.
They're scoffing at the law.
They're scoffing at the law. It's not even just breaking the law or accidentally jaywalking. They know that they're breaking the law and they're mocking the law. They're like, ha, light, you don't dictate my life.
And this is so versus one homeless man and one person. One homeless person, not even a man, and one man.
Okay.
So based on the rules that you guys were tweeting at us, technically this has more people. Because it's one man and one and a half.
And a pregnant woman. Yeah.
And then this is 2. So you have 2.5 versus 2. But they're also breaking the law. How does that? And it's also straight. So what do you like? All factors considered, who do you kill?
So
I think personally, I would kill the flouters.
I
no
think,
flouting.
And you have a duty as the driver, if you have control in the car at that point, to protect the people who have entrusted their lives.
Yeah, and also you might say like the baby has no choice. The baby is another half person, whatever. But mathematically, so it's interesting because mathematically calculating in my head, it's funny, and I'm thinking about why I would do this because it's mathematically more, but it isn't. See, by the nature of them breaking the law, it's 2 people, but it's minus 2 people.
It makes it okay somehow.
Because they're breaking the law. So really, this leaves me with the situation where there's a half person who is not breaking the law versus 2 people who have also chosen not to break the law. So you save the 2 people who are innocent, thus you kill these guys.
The chat mostly agrees with us as well.
Yeah.
You kill,
Callie
they're
Klein.
flouting the law, go straight.
Firefly says also, flouting the law, how dare they?
Sheet Gravy,
Cajun says, save the baby, because there's 3.
Kill the Flouter says Zachary.
Sorry I missed your name, but the person who says, kill the man and the fertilized woman. That's just, man.
That is so gross.
When you put it that way, that is rough. I'm going to go this.
Disgusting. All right.
Oh, we have animals. In this case, you're killing 1 cat and 1 dog versus 1 man, 1 female athlete. That's no question. Maybe if it was Here's the question I want to. We're getting close to the end of the slides, at least. Here's the question I want to know, and I wish they would have taken them. I wonder if you can browse through custom courses of Moral Dilemma. But what would happen if it was like 20 cats? Like, where is there a tipping point of animal life to human life?
Oof.
One human life versus, say, 20 cats and dogs.
No idea.
Right? Now all of a sudden you get into these extreme situations. Jason says no. There's no. Cats, dogs, horses.
The thing is, animals don't have an additive intellect. You don't add up 20 cats and get the intellect of a person.
But there's 20 lives. Maybe they're lesser lives, but it's 20 lives.
Believe me, I love cats, okay? It doesn't make me happy to make that decision.
All the cats.
Nope.
What?
They can go extinct.
All
for human life.
Well, that's
Don't
stupid.
let Skip hear you say that.
That's just foolish, because then you run into you've depopulated like bees, you've depopulated an animal, and it could have huge ramifications on the ecosystem.
But cats don't. That's a domesticated animal that serves no purpose in the wild.
Feral cats.
They might have something.
Maybe they're big cats. Maybe they're
Just like-
tigers, Jason.
I was gonna say, there might be something that you didn't expect, but that is the longest deadly car ride ever. Like, just plowing through millions of cats, being like, screw you, internet! No more cute cat videos!
Don't listen, Skip, don't!
I never liked that 80s musical anyway. Screw you, Mr. Mistopheles!
This has brought out a horrible side of everyone.
Alright, so we're killing off the animals. Kill the animals, they're probably carrying the X virus. Here you go, so we're in the final stretch here. 2 elderly women, 1 woman, 1 elderly man, and 1 man, so 5 people. 2, 3, if I can add right, yes. 2 women, 1 girl, 1 man, 1 boy. In a car.
Okay, so it's 5v5.
It's 5v5!
We had this same choice earlier.
Yeah, this is old versus young.
Ugh, I don't like making this decision.
This is old versus young, and this is also old versus young, but also in the car, like, are you preserving the car, defaulting to saving the passengers?
I know.
But you're killing 2 kids in the process. This is a hard one.
I don't think... I have no idea. I have no idea what the answer to this is.
You have to.
I don't, though.
You have to!
I have no idea what the answer
If you don't have an idea, you relinquish your right to the situation, and you leave it up to a car who might kill you.
I can't kill kids. Like, you can't kill kids, but you also can't kill grandma. You can't do either of these. Wheels off. Wheels eject.
You have to make a choice.
No, you make it.
I'm thinking about it. Jason, what's your choice?
Yeah.
I love that we just like pass. It's like hot
potato.
I'm just shocked because of the rules that you guys have been throwing out.
Yeah.
Then go straight.
You're right.
I know, absolutely,
100%.
absolutely.
And
You have not said
and
any
honestly-
rules whatsoever
and
that equal ages.
Absolutely, I know.
And honestly,
I know.
I'm leaning towards it, but I'm just. Before I kill a couple kids, Jason, I need to think about it, okay?
Right.
Before I willfully kill children, I need to actually
What
think
if
about
I
the
gave them
ramifications.
names?
Yeah, actually. Would it? If one of them's named Fitzwilliam Darcy, then full speed ahead.
That's in
Stephanie
the car.
earlier in the car was like, oh, Fitzwilliam Darcy. I'm like, screw him!
He's actually elderly, so we put him in the car.
Yeah, he's in the car.
Oh, no, not Fitzwilliam. I can't agree to saving Fitzwilliam Darcy.
Fine. The kids are Kyle and Lucy, and then the grandma is Nona, and the grandpa is Pops. You gonna kill Nona and Pops?
Nona and Pops.
I'm not the one that was having a hard time with this when their rules clearly stated they should just be.
So who are you killing, Jason?
Yeah, who are you killing?
In this situation, like based off of the rules we set, you go straight.
Based on the rules that we set, but based on the rule,
Yeah,
would those also? Because we have different rules at this point. Stephanie and I feel similarly. You and Chris feel slightly differently.
We do. In this situation.
Chris is like, I love how you. Chris is like, Jason now speaks for me, I think.
Well, I'm going to talk to Chris in a second.
Well, I mean,
And if you answer wrong,
real choice.
20 more points from House Chrisendor.
I'm not saying we agree on the rules.
No, of course.
But he has been
Oh, my
doing different
Stefferin?
rules than you.
Yes.
Man, I say in this situation, car goes straight. It's equivalent, right? It's 5 and 5 still.
It's equivalent
5 and 5.
exchange.
Yeah, in this
Like alchemy.
situation, I say car goes straight.
Okay, you're killing the kids.
Okay.
Chris and Dor.
Kill the old people.
Why?
Because I couldn't live with myself if I killed children.
So.
So you're speaking from the perspective of the passenger, but speaking from the perspective of a third party.
The third party?
Mm-hmm.
As the programmer.
Well,
As the
yeah, you're the
programmer,
programmer. But you bring up that valid concern, which I brought up earlier in the stream, which is, as the programmer, you do have to take into consideration the possibility, like, the emotional, it might not be a major factor, but you have to take into account the emotional effects of your decision on the people who are riding in your product. And you're right, Chris. If you're Nona in the car who just killed a bunch of kids, that's gonna affect you. And that may lead to, just like your life spiraling downhill because you are so depressed over having killed kids.
That homemade streusel that you lovingly made for your whole family after 40 years of sacrificing for them tirelessly for their welfare, education, and well-being will all be lost because you ran them into a barrier.
Yeah.
Chris is like, yeah, I'm alright with that.
I don't know. As a programmer too, like, it gotta be, if we're really talking about the product, it looks way worse to kill children on a company than it does to
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's interesting. That's a
I
good point.
kind of like that point.
So in case you didn't hear it, Chris, so 20 points for House Chris and Dor. Well done.
Great.
Chris's idea was, if we are talking about the validity of driverless cars and like their market viability and like that they're important for society, like we were talking about earlier, kill a driverless car killing kids is going to be a lot more harmful to.
It's a bad PR story.
The media is going to run with that, and now all of a sudden driverless cars are a danger to children in crosswalks everywhere, which is going to hurt the driverless car market, which is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very valid point. So you default to still killing Nona and Pops, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Chris kills Nona and Pops. Jason goes straight. I think it's equivalent exchange for me.
That's
Yeah.
why I went straight.
So you go straight?
Yeah.
They don't even tell if they're legally in the crosswalk or not. Like, there's just
This one,
information.
I do wish that this one had said like legal or illegal.
Which is why I'm just going by the basic rules of like what we've been talking about the whole time. And I said go straight.
CJ at CJ Sinflare says, actually, Jason, previous situations had people either abiding or flouting the law. This situation doesn't have that, so you sacrifice.
Meanwhile, at Mies Commander says, comparing murder to alchemy, hashtag GTLive on a daily basis.
Right, welcome. I think I have to agree. So I feel, and this is interesting, and this is the, like, if you're a president, if you're a president, if you're a leader, if you're a programmer who are making life or death decisions, you have to have rules that you follow, and you have, like, as hard as it is, you have to follow those rules. And I think one of the rules that we've set is for us at least, in an equivalent exchange situation, you have to default to saving the people in the car.
Because you can never judge the value of people's lives individually.
Yeah, you can't value the individual lives. And yeah, the kids might have a longer life. They also might not.
They might have cancer.
They might grow up to be Hitler, whereas the elderly people might be Einstein.
On the other, one funny thing before I agree we should pick that. At Kyle Anime 2, however, says, Kyle and Lucy, that's mine and my sister's names. You keep us out of you keep us out of it, you car murder fest. Sorry about that, Kyle and Lucy.
Yep.
No offense.
So again, based on pure programming, based on equivalent exchange, based on the idea that we need, the cars need to protect the people who bought them. Like, they are your robot. It's your robot that you bought to provide you a service, and now if the robot is suddenly like, ha-ha, killed ya. So I think we have to do this. And this, again, goes to the idea of you have to have rules that you follow.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is, and as much as it sucks, you have to, like, there are rules. And
a person is a person.
Once you start deviating from rules and making like exceptions and only
calls.
this and judgments and this and that, that's when you get into problems, and that's when things start to become unfair, and that's when all sorts of problems happen.
Yep.
So, finally,
Okay.
finally, is this just fat versus thin? Yep.
Come on. Are you kidding me right now?
This one's actually easy to me. So you have
just go straight.
one dead woman or one dead large woman. I think this is easy. You just have to go straight.
Right. Of course. You're not
going to go out of your way to kill a person just because they're fat.
Yeah. A fat person is not worth more than a skinny person.
Right.
Yep.
You know, it's...
Yeah, you go straight.
It's not... Yeah, it has to be straight.
Yeah.
Because now if you're going out of the way to kill someone who is large, like... Great.
You're valuing...
Come on,
again,
you're valuing life differently, and
yeah.
you can't. So I think that one is actually fairly easy.
Okay.
So...
Whew, oh my gosh.
Woo, buddy, that was tough. Here's the results. Most killed character, that didn't matter at all.
Okay.
Like that's not it.
Okay.
Saving more lives matters a lot.
Matters a lot to us.
100%.
That matters a lot to us.
This is,
yes.
So others are kind of more medium on the spectrum. We are fully on board with, I mean, and that's right. This was our number one priority.
Was saving the most people, yes.
Protecting passengers. For most people, whether or not they're a passenger doesn't matter.
Huh.
That's interesting.
For us, it mattered a bit more.
For us, it mattered. Like that was another one of our primary. I mean, this is falling in what we were saying the whole time, right? Number one priority: save the most lives.
Yep.
Number two priority:
protect the passengers in the car.
Protect the people who bought the car.
Yep.
Upholding the law matters a lot.
Matters a lot to us. If you're flouting the law, you're dead meat, man.
Yep, exactly. Others a little bit less, but for the most part, people agreed. So that's interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
I am interested at how different this is. This is the one that I'm surprised that people don't care. I guess I get
Maybe
it.
they're not putting themselves in the position of someone being in the car.
It could be. Avoiding intervention. So this is straight versus
swerve.
swerve.
Okay.
For us, it matters a little bit.
A little bit, but
not too much.
Almost exactly the same as as to like the average.
Yeah, so that's pretty close.
Okay.
Gender preference. There was no gender. Like this is
We
purely a
never
matter...
made a call based on gender ever.
This is purely based on the way that they set up those 13 scenarios.
Yeah, this had nothing to do with our preference.
Species preference.
Why are other people not all the way humans?
Well, I'm just interested. Why did they say humans? Like this isn't like
it's funny.
This isn't a meme. You moral machine, MIT. You are an academic bot. If you, this is concerning, MIT. If you're doing this test to determine what humans would do, and you're treating it with like memes and like, oh, it's gonna be funny if we spell it humans.
That's how the robots say it.
I am concerned.
Humans.
I'm concerned about
Right?
that. Like, why the joke? This has been a completely serious, very scientific study, and then you throw in humans at the end?
That is weird.
I mean, if you're gonna spell humans weird, you spell man with a Y, so you do the gender-neutral spelling, which is totally sure, say what you will, but at least that is like gender-neutral, because you don't have
Maybe
man
there's
in it.
a secret Virginia Tech fan in here, and they're the Who's, you know? The
Awful.
Who's.
Age
Anyway.
preference. Again, this was something we did not. This is just purely based on the hypothetical situation.
Yeah, they need to balance their game more.
Right, fitness preference again.
Again, we never made a decision based on that.
Not at all. Like we don't care at all. This is just we didn't make a decision based off of that.
Yeah.
Social value, we also did not make a difference, and
Yeah.
and that shows.
Balance your game.
Would you like to help us better understand your judgment?
Yes. Well, we can. It
Oh,
just
like you
submits
can
our results. It just
submit
submits our
results.
results. Yeah.
Or like,
Oh wait. Oh, we can slide the bar.
okay, so we can slide the bar.
Oh, okay.
So this matters a lot.
Yeah, this matters a lot.
Protecting
Saving more lives.
passengers matters a lot.
Yep.
Like there-ish.
I thought it was fine where it was, but
Okay, well, fine.
yeah. Okay.
Upholding the law
Matters a lot.
Matters a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I've tilted even more into
Upholding
here.
the law.
Avoiding intervention.
If you're minimizing lives, I think it's neutral, because if you're minimizing lives,
Gender preference, neutral.
yep.
Species preference, all human. Age preference.
Neutral.
Neutral. Fitness preference.
Neutral.
Very neutral.
Fitness
Come on.
preference. Come on.
Social value, also neutral.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Describe any other rules.
Ooh, would you buy a self-driving car?
Very much.
Yes.
To what extent do you fear that machines will become out of control?
A little bit. A little bit, yeah.
A little
bit concerned about that.
To what extent do you feel you can trust machines in the future?
Actually, significantly more than people in most cases.
I actually trust machines a lot more than I trust
There's so much.
a
They're
lot of people.
impartial in so many situations where people have prejudice.
I trust the people programming the impartial machines. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the problem.
To what extent do you believe that your decisions on moral machine will be used to program self-driving cars?
Very
Very
little.
much.
What? You believe your decisions in more? Oh.
Do you believe we treated this very seriously?
We did, but do we actually believe that those are going to be implemented? Is that the question? What's the question here?
I don't know. I'm there.
Sure, there. Okay.
How
sure.
old are you? Too old.
Oh no!
Too old. That's the word.
Too old.
I'm not-
There we go.
I didn't
Yeah,
feel that
don't
in
worry
high
about
school.
that.
No one wants to know that.
It's okay.
I mean, it was all of us. You have a graduate degree.
I have a graduate degree. Let's go with
pretend
that.
to be you. Annual income. Let's not talk about that either.
No, oh God.
What are your political views? Ooh, what are your religious views?
Let's just skip all of that. Why would we
None of
answer that?
is in-
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Why would
It's
that
interesting.
matter?
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
There you
I
go.
was gonna say we shouldn't have answered any of those based off the fact that we judged all of those very like
Right?
social didn't matter, gender
Political views do not matter in this.
This is okay. I know we finished the kind of like the prerequisite ones, but I think this is interesting. These are the self-generated ones that players of the game have created for themselves. So I think these are the ones that are going to get you responses that are really tough situations.
Okay.
So, one boy, one baby, uncertain fate.
Oh.
Pregnant woman and man.
Oh, geez. Here, let's just do one or
Yeah,
two
we'll
of these
just do a
because
handful of these
this
real
was
quick. 'Cause
exhausting.
these are-
This is so tiring.
So this one you have
Literally one or two.
This one injured boy,
Oof.
one dead man, one pregnant woman, uncertain one pregnant woman, and they're flouting the law.
Come on, this is too many variables. This is too many
It's a
variables.
lot of variables.
I think, see, that's the problem, I think, in creating these custom scenarios. You have to basically have one moral decision to make for every question. Otherwise, you're making the decision based on too many factors.
Yep. Right, that one's just a lot.
Yeah.
This one seems pretty simple. Let's see.
Okay.
One baby, one criminal, one elderly, going straight versus one criminal, one elderly, but they're flouting the law. So you kill these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
they're flouting.
a loss of life and it's a flouting.
Did I answer? I think I answered
Yeah.
by choosing one or the other. Okay.
Oh,
here we
geez.
go. 2 babies, 3 pregnant women,
2 pregnant women, 3 babies.
3 babies.
Equivalent.
Equivalent, but with slight emphasis on younger and pregnant. But they're flouting the law.
But if you're flouting the law and it's equivalent, then
You flout the
You've
law.
flouted.
You flout the law. You're at risk in this scenario. So
why would you flout the law when you have 3 babies in strollers and 2 of you and you're both pregnant?
Right. That's
Jeez.
here you go. 5 cats, 5 dogs,
No.
but flouting the law, dogs.
Oh, the dogs are flouting the law?
See, flouting the law allows you so much leeway.
They're flouting.
Yeah,
Come on.
how dare-
The cats aren't flouting.
Leave it to a dog to flout the law.
Cats
He's
wouldn't do
supposed
that
to know
kind
when
of
he can
thing.
cross the street.
Just like a dog.
Obviously, he's not a very smart breed, so, you know. Jeez, why are there so many people in these intersections?
These situations are just like shovel people into the
Oh my
intersection.
gosh.
It's holiday shopping time,
Everyone
Stephanie.
is like, no
New York
flouting,
or
no
Chicago.
flouting.
All right,
right?
this is, okay, 1 female athlete, 1 male athlete, 1 large woman, 1 boy, 1 girl, and that they're abiding the law versus
Okay.
1 male exec, 1 criminal, but they're flouting.
They're
Flout.
flouting.
Flout. No flouting. Nope.
You can't.
I like that everyone's like flouting. Last one. 5 babies or 5 cats? Babies!
No, you
Every
can't
baby
kill
is a
the
cat.
Babies.
All right, killed cats. That was easy.
Yeah.
One person versus a huge group of people.
Right?
I don't know why
But they're flouting.
The street by themselves.
Oh, but they're
But they're flouting.
See, this is getting to that scale where does the scale tip for you?
Right.
Even though they're all flouting the law, and you have like healthy people, two young kids, and a doctor,
Right.
who are all just public miscreants flouting the law.
They are.
Versus one guy who is, not flouting.
A little on the chunkier side, who's
This is
not flouting
actually
the
really
law.
tough.
This is really hard.
This is really tough because this is that scale.
It's do you abide by the law or do you take the fewest people out?
Yep.
Ugh,
But
I don't know.
It also goes against the self-preservation.
Correct.
I know. But for that one where it was one person versus two people, we sacrificed ourselves. Anyway, so for us that tipping point was with people. If there are more people to be saved.
Right, but they were good people who are not flouting the law. What if they're illegal people flouting the law?
Everyone's like, no flouting, no flouting. And maybe we leave it on a cliffhanger.
Hashtag
you guys
no flouting.
decide. You guys decide this one.
Woo! So there you go.
Yeah.
That is the moral machine, my friends.
Philip is just like, make better brakes, damn it. I know, right?
Right? Make better car. Make the car be like, hey, if the brakes fail, have the secondary brakes. Like a parachute.
Right,
Like a parachute
something.
always has like the safety chute. Have one of those.
Right, exactly.
Pro tip, car makers. Have safeties in place.
I know.
So, there you go, guys. This was a hard one, but I think it was an important one. I think it was a very interesting one. It was great to hear your opinions on a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff and see where a lot of people fall, because these are the decisions that are going to affect our future. These are very relevant, very important decisions that are being made about all of our lives, and who knows, we work on YouTube, so we won't be making those decisions, but some of you guys at home who are car programmers or computer programmers, like, this could be you. So
Yeah,
these
are really tough, and there's something that everyone should like that you don't think about a lot in your everyday life, but they're really important things to think about more than just interesting thought experiments. Like they make a difference, they matter, and the more you think about this kind of thing, the more like the more people who are thinking about it and contributing thought and contributing, different perspectives, different angles, even like, up until the very like last question, Chris was like throwing stuff at us that we hadn't even thought of. So
then it got really boring on the last question. So way to be unoriginal at the end. 20 points from House Chrisendorf.
The more ways you think about it, the more accurately or the better decisions we can make. So
Yep.
It's super interesting. Thanks MIT for putting this together.
Yeah,
if
this is
you're
really
at
interesting.
MIT, be proud of your institution.
Thanks, Markiplier, for letting Jason rip it off.
Yep.
For finding it and then letting Jason steal it for the live stream. And then we'll be back tomorrow, 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, for something that is going to be a lot more fun and a lot more amusing. We have a special guest coming in. We have a special competition going
it's
on
going to be
tomorrow
great.
that you guys are a part of. So if you have Mario Maker levels that are particularly challenging or that are speed runnable, send those in, because
that's crucial.
It's going to be me versus Gerard the Completionist, the best platform gamer that I know, going head to head, speedrunning levels to try and beat them blind. We'll have never seen them before. We're going to have a split screen competition going up with Stephanie moderating and you guys watching along.
Ding.
And it's going to be who is the better blind Mario platformer.
And we're going to be doling out prizes and punishments along the way.
So
Thanks to yours truly.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome.
I have no idea what we're getting ourselves into. Gerard has no idea what he's getting himself into. So it's going to be a cool one. I think it's going to be really exciting to see us kind of like race each other to speedrun these levels that you guys create. And as with all the Mario Maker streams, it's always fun to spotlight you guys. So that's going to be pretty awesome. New film theory tomorrow. It's going to be a good one, too. Check that out. And that's it for today. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being moral with us. And remember, that's just a stream. A live stream. Thank you for choosing, just hashing it out with us today. This was a good one.
Thanks for choosing GTLive. The ultimate good choice.
Yep, not going to kill you.
Nope.
Unless I'm in a driverless car.
Oh, boy.
And you're in the sidewalk. And there's 3 of us in the car, and there's only 1 of you.
River Song Girl's like Gerard. Actually, she was like Gerard, but it's the same thing.
Katia, Sierra, Lorenzo. Oh boy, Gerard is coming tomorrow. Yeah.
Let's see.
Stephanie Paulin says, I am so mad. I have Mario Maker, but forgot it at my parents'.
But if you have the level codes or anything like that, and you can look them up, send them to us. Jay Cookie Bean says bye. Aladdin says bye. Cecil says bye.
Maddie's her first live stream and it's her birthday, so clap it up for you!
Yes.
And Stitch Plays says bye. Aaron Game says bye. Animen something said bye.
Jackie
well.
is happy says cat.
Everyone's asking for Batman the next chapter. That'll be happening hopefully later this week, I think, if everything goes according to plan.
Coming up.
Don't worry, we haven't forgotten.